Welcome back to another episode of the Be the CEO of Your Life and Business podcast. This week, Amy and I want to talk about not being able to disconnect as a business owner. But honestly, you don't even necessarily need to be a business owner because I was like this at our last firm and I did not own the business. So
That's true.
Even if you're just an employee working for somebody else's business, if you take your job seriously and love what you do, it is incredibly hard to disconnect and be present for something outside of your job.
Yes.
So we want to talk today about the importance of working on that because this is like a work in progress for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I am not good at disconnecting. I'm definitely better at it now than I used to be, but it's something that is very hard for me because I feel like, especially now that we own our own business, I can't shut my brain off.
No.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah, that's totally what it is. And I think this is coming at a really good time because when we're in the last 2 months of the year.
Unbelievable.
And we were just talking with our team this morning about, the upcoming holiday schedule and like certain days off that our office is going to be closed. And for me, it's really hard to wrap my brain around what a day off looks like. And I'll tell you that, we started this business when I was 8.5 months pregnant. And while it was an absolute blessing to be able to work from home and build this business when Joseph was literally from 0 to 6 months old, I definitely did not take maternity leave very seriously. And so
no, you did not.
Laura knows because I was answering emails while I was in the hospital in labor and delivering.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Not a pro tip. Like that's not something we encourage here. But the reason that this topic came up is because, I definitely struggle with the idea of like what a day off is anymore. Whether it be, and it's from work, right? Like there's always stuff that I can do at home. There's always something I can go shop for or go pick up, and there's errands to be run. But it's the idea that like being where you are and being present where you are is extremely difficult for me. And I have to be honest with you, it's not because I'm always in love with like my job. It also has to do with the fact that I feel like I have a never-ending to-do list at my firm that I'm like, oh, shoot, I cannot turn my brain off because if I do have time off, I could be going on and checking emails. I could be doing this.
And it's a battle, right? Because in today's day and age, we are constantly connected. Like yesterday, when I say I'm working on this issue, I mean, this is every day a work in progress for me. Yesterday, Kaylee's soccer team had like a parent child. It was their last practice of the year. So the coach invited all the parents we did a little scrimmage at the end. And I actually left my phone in my bag. And so, I was running around doing the practice with her. And at the end, I was like, oh my God, I haven't looked at my phone in like an hour.
It's amazing.
And I was there. I was focusing on Kaylee because I knew last year I couldn't make it and she was devastated. So she was so excited that I was there. And it was really nice to just be there with her, having a good time and not worrying about my emails.
Yeah.
Which is normally what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I try to take steps to like when I walk in the house, put my phone away somewhere so I'm not looking at it. And when I'm at the dinner table, no phones at the dinner table. But, and those are just small moments in time, but that's literally how hard it is for me. I have to focus on the small moments in time to step away from my phone to build up to something better than that.
Yes.
Because that's how hard it is for me to disconnect.
And I would love to say too, that like we have normal operating business hours, but
no,
we do for our firm and for the team that we have, but our clients know how to get to us. Like they know that they can email us, call us, text our personal cell phones. Like there are ways to get to us, and all of that takes mental energy, whether you answer it or not. It takes your attention away from where you presently are. Like we were sitting in a team meeting and I had a client calling on every single way that they could possibly call me via the office line, my personal cell phone, sending me a FaceTime invite. Like it was wild. And I sat there like, okay, I have to remember that this client does not know that I am unavailable, but at the same time, like that takes my mental energy away. And the other thing that I think is very common, and I definitely know I have been struggling with this at times, is getting resentful of your business because it is nonstop. Like I have to try and be really intentional. I think that's really what the point of today's topic is going to be for us to give you, like the takeaways is being really intentional and trying to be as disciplined as possible to setting up really good boundaries, because you can get sucked right back into nonstop work mode. Even if your brain does not turn off, like you have to figure out a way to turn it off for periods of time, because it could lead you to start resenting the thing that you're building because you're not setting up good boundaries.
Right. And even the smallest thing, like telling myself it's okay to step out of the office for 10 minutes during the day. Like I will be tied to my desk from the time I get here till the time I leave and not think twice about it.
Yep.
I eat at my desk. I don't take breaks.
Yeah.
And yesterday, of course, I saw the school's number coming up on my phone. What else is new? And Kaylee had forgotten her instrument. So immediately I was like, I can't get there. I'm so busy. And then I was like, hold on a second. What time does she need the instrument by? They called me at like 9:30 in the morning. And she was like, oh, she needs it by 1:25. I was like, okay, slow your roll. You can get up from your desk for 10 minutes. Her school, okay, my house is 5 minutes from the office. Her school is 5 minutes from my house, and I could literally walk to her school from our office. So I had to say to myself, okay, you can take 20 minutes. Go get the instrument before 1:30, get it to the school. I literally left my desk at 10:50. I was back at my desk by 11:10. But this is, I mean, that's may sound like a ridiculous example, but these are the things I struggle with, because I cannot, it is so hard for me to detach from work physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And so even like that may sound so stupid to somebody else, but that was a huge step for me yesterday.
It does. And like, that's why, we don't come on here feigning to like have it all figured out.
No.
Like there are some things where we will definitely give you the best advice that in our experience has totally worked for us, and we can kind of crush it at this point. But this is one of those mindset things that we have to actively work on every day. It is like training a muscle in the gym. If you don't train it, you lose it. Yeah. So you have to constantly be putting this into practice. That's why I say about the discipline. I'm not saying that from a place of like, you just like man up and do it. That's not the point. It's the discipline of like recognizing it first and then realizing, okay, I have to change a thought pattern here. Like I have to, like Laura did, I got to step back for a second. Wait a second, ask a better question. Do I need to do this right now? Do I have to rush out? When does she need it by? How can I make this work? Can I maybe go have it, stack it with another thing I have to do, like get a coffee or go get lunch? Like, could it be, I don't know, a more joyful little interruption than, oh my gosh, it's interrupting my day. I'm going to be away from my desk for 20 minutes and everybody's going to call me, right? Like that's how we feel.
Sometimes Mike will look at me and he'll be like, you work for yourself. Like,
yeah, right.
That's right. I do. And, but I spend so many years in the employee role that even 4 years out, I sometimes get sucked back into, I can't go in late today. I can't be an extra 10 minutes late. And he'll say to me, you own the firm. Like, what are you doing?
Laura and I like look at each other and we're like, so on this day, I'm not going to be in the office. I'm going to be working from the house for like the morning, and then I'll come in. And what I do the same thing with Joey. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm not going to be at the office, because if I go to the office, then I have to leave at this time and then I have to go there. And he's like, who do you answer to? Nobody, because Laura is not going to give a what if you tell her you have to work from home so that you can be at a parent teacher conference. Like,
right, I know, it's so ridiculous.
But I have to say, I've been using this a lot, but I'm dropping a footnote here. It's because we also know that we will work and get our stuff done whenever we have to get it done too.
Right.
Like, we don't just say like, oh, you know what, I'm coming in at 10, I'm going to go to lunch at 12 and I'll see you when I see you. Like, we know we're showing up to do our stuff.
And you know what? Last week was really when I was away with Mike in DC. That was really one of the first.
We could talk about that week.
That was one of the first moments for me where I actually realized we have other people working for us that can do work while we're not in the office. I mean, this sounds so
These
absurd.
people that are listening to this must think we're crazy. Like, hello, you talk about a team all the time. Yeah,
we actually have a team.
We have a team, but we are also deprogramming our brains from years of being conditioned to think a certain way. Like, we cannot stress this enough. We came from prior environments that literally, if we were not back at a certain time at our desk, where are you? Text messages were coming in. What's going on? Yeah. So we used to get these messages that were basically like, where'd she go? When's she coming back? What's she doing? Who's she with? Crazy. And so we used to be the ones that were telling each other, like, our offices were across. Yeah. Our offices are across the hall and we're texting each other, like, be on the lookout. Like, someone's looking for you. But we also like get up from our desk and like say like, oh, I'm just going to run to the other side. And it just got so natural for us to just tell each other everything about what we were doing.
Right.
And then it takes sometimes a third party, like our husbands, that are like, what is wrong with the two of you? You work for yourselves. You run a business and we run a team and we have to stay available for our team. But like, they're not hunting us down. They're not
at all. And it's been a long road to actually realize that we have a team to help us here.
Yeah.
And when I was away last week, they did P.S. Amy wasn't here either. Yeah. So we both just happened to have to leave for 3 days, the same 3 days, during the same week. And so we had our paralegals here and our other attorney, Alejandra. She covered a closing for me. They were doing everything all week. Yep. And now, granted, and I know you were busy in conferences all day, but like, I was not. I was there for Mike. So I was working all day. Yeah. But there were certain things I couldn't take care of, and they took care of it. Yeah. And so it was a big realization for me to realize, like, you have got to work harder on being able to detach mentally from this office. And we did one day, I think it was last Wednesday, Mike finished his meetings at like 3 or something like that. And I went out with him in DC and we just went for a walk. I didn't look at my phone. I put it in my bag. And I was like, the world is not going to end if I take a walk with him. We are away. I never see him anymore because he's always coaching and I'm always working. So it's like, we finally got to spend a little time together. So I had to talk to myself and say, okay, Abby and Danielle have the office, right? And Alejandra, I did whatever calls and whatever else I have to do today. I'm going to leave this room and go take a walk with him. Yeah. And it was fine. Like, nothing burned down. The world didn't end, but it's really a work in progress. And I think something that you brought up, if you don't work on detaching from whether it's your business or your job, whatever, you at some point are going to start to resent it. Even though we are building this business the way we want to build it to serve us and our clients. Yeah. But we can step away. We can. And so it's a mindset shift, and we don't want to come in here and every week and preach to you like you said, like we have all the answers and we are doing everything right. Nope. This is a huge struggle for us. So we want to be honest with you guys and let us know where we struggle and what we're working through. And this is a huge one for us. Well, and that you kind of just hit it on the head. We are not robots. Like, we're not going through the motions. We have brains that do have, send us signals and make us feel a certain way. And the resentment thing, I think, is the biggest piece, because it can cause you to also just start to get really, I don't know, uncomfortable with where you are and like feeling like everybody else should know better, that you are taking time away and going for a walk. Look at how hard I'm working. Everybody else is working. We came from that. Oh my goodness. So the point of this is to say, first of all, it's okay to struggle with this, because I think if you don't struggle with this, maybe you don't have relationships and hobbies. I don't know, because
if you're not struggling with this, you are attached to your work life, and everybody else around you is probably recognizing that you got an issue to deal with, right? And I can actually tell you that truthfully, my husband has looked at me and been like, I can see it all over your face. Like, your brain is still at work. You are here, but you're not mentally
You're
here.
physically here, but you're mentally still at your desk.
And we've had to have those conversations. Like right now, I have a couple of really big projects and I have a lot of little stuff that's popping up at the same time. It's a really big recipe for disaster for me because I feel like I have a lot. We have new clients coming in. They're really great cases. We want to be working with them, but I also have other clients that are longstanding that I have other things to work on. So it's not a fun balance. Okay. And I come home and I bring that home with me and it's on my face. And he literally just asked me this yesterday and he was like, what is going on? And I said, I just know that the next 2 weeks are going to be really, really hectic, like right leading up to the Thanksgiving break. Which for some reason, I'm really good at detaching over Thanksgiving break.
Me too. That's
like,
one area.
Bye. Adios. See you later. I'm decorating my Christmas tree. I am doing all the things, getting ready for Christmas. Do not bother me.
But leading up to that weekend,
leading up to it, it's stressful. And this is my favorite time of year. And I think that that is why we wanted to talk about this now, is because one, we're feeling it. We're both feeling it right now. So when we both feel something, we're like, okay, this is therapy to like talk about it and also share with you that this is a real struggle. And be prepared for those days off. Be prepared for maybe if you get the privilege of having the day off after Thanksgiving, like we close our office, get ready for it. Like, get ready for the fact that some people might be working that day and might send you an email. Don't get mad at them for that, but set up your boundary that says, I'm not looking at it. I'm not answering it. I'm not dealing with it. It can wait until the following week. And this makes me think of the underutilization of out of office. And you remember that one attorney that you were working with on a real estate transaction, and he was like, I'm on vacation. If you send me an email, it will be deleted. So send it to me the following week. And that, I don't know if I can do that, but
that's a little too much for me.
That's boundary. If that is not clear to the person that's receiving it, I don't know what billboard neon sign you need. Like,
I'm not reading your email. Don't bother me. Email me again next week.
Exactly.
Basically is what he was saying.
A gentler version of that I got actually from a colleague the other day. He said that he was out of the office for like a 4-day weekend. So he said, I will be out of the office. I will not be looking at any emails. All of your emails will be looked at on Monday and I will respond to them as soon as I can. Another really clear boundary that says, like, I might look at it on Monday when I get back, but I might not be able to answer it because as a business owner too, you have to learn how to triage all of the incoming messages and you have to be able to prioritize. And that's also a skill. That's also a discipline and you have to keep practicing it and you have to keep figuring it out. But all of this just takes time. And we just want to be here for you, share the struggles that we really do have as business owners. We might really feel like we're in a groove in some areas, but this is definitely an area that we both really struggle with.
Yeah. And, but it's important. Look, it's always a work in progress, right? So we come on here, share our tips, things that are working for us. Like yesterday when I just left my phone in my bag at Kaylee's practice, forgot about it and went back to it later on. Detaching when I was out with Mike last week, like little things that you can do, because it is a struggle to detach, but it becomes exhausting.
I will say one other thing too. You just made me think of this, having something to look forward to, right? Scheduling in something. So after the 3 days that I was out of the office and actually out of the state for what I was at, I actually had a date night, planned a date night while I was away with Joey. So that Friday night we were celebrating our anniversary and I knew that that was my end of the day I was really looking forward to. And having something that you look forward to like that can also sometimes help. So planning in, and it does not sound romantic or spontaneous, but sometimes planning in a joyful date night or event or coffee date with a friend or whatever it is could also be something that helps alleviate that stress.
And even at this time of year, I know, we all know how much I look forward to Thanksgiving because I love watching the parade Thanksgiving Day. But I know that we are closing the office at noon on Wednesday and we are not coming back to work until Monday. I am looking so forward to that.
Me too.
And I will detach that weekend. And so I know that we're going to be working like crazy
Yeah.
up until then. So it's like the last leg of a marathon, which is what I've been saying about this fall sports season.
Yep.
It's like the last leg of a marathon, but I know that the end, or at least a little break, is coming.
Yeah.
So even if you have to like set like goals for yourself, right? So you know you're going to have a couple days off. It's going to be crazy getting there, but once you get there, make sure you are intentional about detaching.
Yes.
It's really hard. It can be stressful. And it's definitely a work in progress, but it definitely can be done. So we hope these tips were helpful. We thank you for spending time with us, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.